The only constant is going to be change, right? The only constant is going to be more noise. And so if we let the noise interrupt us, we would have a new interruption every single week. And so we need to put our head down. We need to stay focused as entrepreneurs, and we need to continue to do the things we can control.
Good morning. Welcome to another Motivational Monday. My name is Matthew Hodge, Executive Vice President here at LPT Realty. I'm joining you from LPT headquarters here in Lake Mary, Florida, with Robert Palmer, founder and CEO. Good morning, brother. How are you?
Good morning, man. I'm fantastic.
Good.
A great Mother's Day weekend. Got a nice little post in honor of mothers this weekend as well. My mom and grandma were a big impact on my life, and while they're no longer with us, I know they're proud of me looking down from above. And I said this on the Facebook post, but they got to see my mortgage success, right? They got to see the wealth and kind of that phase, but they didn't get to see this next phase of building LPT and the impact we're having on so many lives. And I know that part would have meant a lot more to them, because that's really, I think, a big part of who they shaped me to be. But Mother's Day is always special. And, my amazing wife, my kids and I hit the lottery. So we had a wonderful, wonderful time with her this weekend. And the girls, I know you did as well. Stacy's a fantastic mom in your household. And big shout out to all the moms out there. Inspiring that next generation of all of us.
Yeah, that's right. It's but the work never stops, right? We still have to keep on grinding. And so maybe it shifted from building LPT to maybe taking care of everything that Jill needed for the day. And then we're back to it. So we just shifted the focus, but I'm happy that you guys had a fantastic weekend, and happy Mother's Day to all of our mothers out there.
My morning started at Publix at 7 a.m. because Reagan wanted to make mom breakfast and we didn't have the proper supplies. All right, we're doing this.
Yes.
So mom slept in. I took the two little girls to Publix and we made homemade chocolate croissants.
Oh, fantastic.
So that was Pillsbury croissant dough with dark chocolate slices put inside of it. And it actually turned out pretty good.
Sounds delicious.
It was nice. So they got to serve those to mom in bed, and we had a great day from there. Spent some time in the pool. It was a great weekend.
Awesome.
Jill's grandmother came down.
Awesome.
So we had a great weekend.
Good. I'm happy to hear that. All right. We're going to go ahead and jump right in. We're going to start with some brokerage updates. We're actually a bit behind on Broker of the Month. I don't know how we missed this.
We've been busy, man. There's been a lot going on, right? World traveling, lots going on. And our brokers are busy. So Broker of the Month. So this is going to be Broker of the Month
weekly.
Broker of the Month. I guess Broker of the Month weekly. Yeah. Broker of the Month. Yes. There you go. Because we're going to announce March, April, and probably May all in the next 3 weeks. So Broker of the Month here at LPT Realty. So today we want to announce our amazing Broker of the Month from March. So again, we apologize. We're about 6 weeks late on this announcement. Jacoba Porter, our managing broker for Washington, Oregon, and Idaho, joined the team, has made an amazing impact on that part of the country, doing an absolutely great job up there in the Pacific Northwest. Jacoba, thank you for all that you do.
Yeah, thank you and congratulations. We very much appreciate your
You're
efforts.
One of our amazing agents in those states. Make sure you give Jacoba a big thank you and a congratulations today for taking care of all our amazing agents in that Pacific Northwest.
That's right. Okay, so we want to kind of jump in and talk about all the noise that is within the industry right now.
There's noise in the industry? What do you
so
mean,
much noise I can barely hear you.
What are you talking about?
It seems like over the last couple of years, since the BBA, that was a whole thing, right? The industry got really, really noisy. Then interest rates started going up, and there was all this kind of confusion and noise around what the future could look like. Now we're seeing all this consolidation happening in the market, and we know for sure the industry is evolving, right? You're seeing the entrance of AI, you're seeing this consolidation, the consumer's asking for a different experience. Like, we are evolving as an industry, but that can be very noisy if you don't have something to point to and say, hey, this is still the North Star, here's where I'm headed. How are you blocking out that noise, and what are you kind of, I guess, advising our entrepreneurs to think about during this period of time of noise?
Yeah, so I think that's the big distinction, right? There are absolutely motivational Mondays where we talk about the noise. We address the noise. Today, we're going to focus on ignoring the noise. Those times in our lives when we just have to put our head down, because honestly, the frequency at which change is happening and the noise is coming out, we would do nothing else. We would have no time to actually practice our trade and help consumers. And so today is really about that exactly, Matt. How do we put on those blinders? How do we How do we block out the noise? If we want to consume it on our own pace, that's one thing. But I think the trap for entrepreneurs is because, again, we have a lot going on. We're self-directed. We're going to talk about that gap that I mentioned a lot between when we do the work and when we get the reward, and the noise just is easy to distract.
Yeah.
And so I think, one, we have to decide when we're going to consume it, right? And so, look, I think right now, if we want to talk about consolidation, if we want to talk about interest rates, like, let's talk about it when the dust settles, right? Let's not talk about it based on the headlines and the talking points and what people say is going to happen, or more accurately, what people hope is going to happen, because everyone is framing it from their own lens and from the lens of what's best for them. And so I think right now we're in a situation where we need to block out the noise for a period of time, and we need to let the dust settle, and we need to see what's really happening. There's a lot of talk. Consolidation is the big buzzword right now.
Yep.
What's going to happen with consolidation? I can tell you no one's buying us. That's not in the cards. And if we make acquisitions, we made some, right? Humanize, Reside. We got a few other things on the roadmap. We're definitely not looking at buying anything that directly clashes with our core mission. I think that's nonsensical. We've talked about that. But I think really we have to just make a decision to say, you know what? What I understand now is the only constant is going to be change, right? The only constant is going to be more noise. And so if we let the noise interrupt us, we would have a new interruption every single week. And so we need to put our head down. We need to stay focused as entrepreneurs, and we need to continue to do the things we can control. And I think that's one of the biggest concepts that we just have to constantly talk about and remind ourselves is we have to focus on what we can control. And we can control the things we're going to do to stay in touch with our sphere, to stay in touch with our past clients, to stay in touch with our clients who are sitting on the fence right now, waiting for the conflict in the Middle East to resolve, waiting for interest rates to come down, waiting for home prices to come down, which I don't think's really going to happen on any large scale, but we have people waiting for these things. And so we can control the cadence of how we communicate with them. We can control the way we position with them. We can control the way we assist them and help them make the right decision. We do not control when they decide to get off the fence. We do not control when they decide the time is right in their life to take action. And so let's focus on the things that we control. And so I was at Housing Wire, was that last week? It was so much travel,
week,
right?
Yeah.
Housing Wire, T360, been on all these stages lately. At Housing Wire last week, we got into this idea. They basically asked me like, hey, Robert, if you had a magic wand and you could wave your magic wand and change anything in this industry, what would it be? And so we're going to play that clip of my answer, and then we're going to break it down. Yep.
Helping people become successful quicker. I think one of the real struggles in this business, again, coming from the mortgage space, we don't have as long of a gap. We do the work and we can see the result a little faster. Refis in particular, purchases maybe still a little further out. But when you look at the real estate space, the efforts that an agent is putting out today, the open houses they're holding, the neighbors they're talking to, the sphere visits they're doing, is not going to turn into any type of revenue or success for them for 4, 5, 6 months down the road. And in a low home sales period like this, it's even further out. And so if I could wave my magic wand, I would compress that time, because we see too many great entrepreneurs, too many great folks who have the potential and have the talent, and they just don't have the ability to last through that lag between when they put in the effort and when they see the reward. And I think it's the absolute hardest part of this industry.
Very well said. And something that you talk about a lot, when you talk about, one, having the resilience of doing the work before you get the reward, but then two, what does it feel like when you're not generating income during that period of time? Because that's the other part of that weight that makes it feel so difficult. Not only do you just feel like you're not getting anywhere, but now you have this added pressure of maybe this financial burden. So, what are your thoughts on how our entrepreneurs navigate that?
Yeah, I think one, it's a big part of why we do this podcast, right? Motivation Monday. Every single Monday, we're right here with you to try to help you refocus, to try to help you stay grounded. Because what we know is during those windows of delayed results, delayed success, delayed return on that investment of time, that investment of money, it's much easier to get distracted. It's much easier to fall victim to the noise. A conversation around the noise feels fulfilling because we can do it immediately, right? We control the timing of it, where we don't control the timing of, like I said earlier, when people decide to get off the fence or people finally decide to take action. And so there's this danger in a cycle like right now, where once again, Boomsday is delayed thanks to, this conflict in the Middle East and kind of renewed inflationary fears, a lot of things going on there. we should have been in a much different place, right? New Fed chair, we've got Jay Powell transitioning out, like all of these things that were supposed to reset and create the boomsday scenario are now being put on hold basically because of this conflict in the Middle East and the uncertainty that creates. And none of us caused that. None of us knew that was coming. None of us could have predicted that. And so now we have even further delayed results, right? Delayed response, delayed results from what we're doing. And then you factor in all of this noise. And honestly, and this is the next thing we're going to talk about, is this concept of impatience. Because that's where we become our own enemy. And so there's two sides to this coin. There is the market condition side of the coin, which is, hey, there is delayed results. We're going to put in the work today, and there is delayed results, and we don't control that. And the market can delay that further. There is a window of time when it feels really good, which is as that cycle compresses, right? As we launch into boomsday and people are coming off the fence, we get the inverse of that, where that cycle compresses, and that's where a lot of careers will be made for those who are prepared. But that's the market. The market controls the delayed gratification side of it. But then we have a side we control, which is the impatience side of it, right? We as entrepreneurs have to be patient. And one of the things I pride myself on after running companies for over 20 years is that ability to be patient. I talk about it a lot with my football analogy. A great running back is patient. They wait and watch the play develop. They wait and watch for the hole to open up on the offensive line and the defensive line. Even if the play says, hey, you're going to run off of that right tackle, if the hole opens up somewhere else, a great running back will make that decision. That requires patience. You can't just head down and go. And so I've always tried to be very focused on being a patient entrepreneur. And I see other folks getting impatient. And I think a lot of the noise that we are seeing being created right now is a result of that impatience at the executive level, right? We have companies who went out and said, we're going to change the landscape of real estate. We're going to build a single unified brokerage with no franchising across the country. This was the rally cry of Compass, of EXP, of Real Brokerage. And now they got impatient, right? They hit 4 years of depressed home sales. I think for a lot of them, the models did not perform the way they expected during that downtime. There was a lot of talk early on of, hey, we're built for this. Our cloud light model, our lack of brick and mortar means that we can survive downturns. But now here we are 4 years in. All those companies have racked up massive losses along the way. And so I think if they were patient enough to continue the commitment to that original vision as we are, I think there is a light at the end of the tunnel. I think that is still the correct thesis. I think they were right that the future does lie with the single entity brokerage, not the legacy franchise. But I think impatience at that level has created them to now make moves, which can compress time, which can make things move further. You go from this many agents to that many agents overnight, but it's not agents committed to your original mission. And even more importantly, there's a massive clash between a cloud culture where the agent works directly for the cloud brokerage and a franchise culture where each agent works for a franchise owner. And in some cases, those franchise owners bought protections, exclusive territories in certain states. There's even a fiduciary duty from the franchise company to the franchise owner. And I don't know how you reconcile that against tens of thousands of cloud recruiters who are trying to build their own organizations and their own teams. And so massive conflicts I see coming. I chalk these decisions up to impatience, which again is the other side of this delayed gratification that we face. And so look, we're going to see how that plays out. We're going to see what the ultimate result of that impatience is. But from my chair, it moved them further away from their original goal because they didn't have the patience to wait for the market to rebound. And look, some of that may have been financial pressure. When you're losing money, it's harder to have patience. You know, we're a profitable company. It makes it much easier for me to be patient. My personal lifestyle is not dependent on this company. It makes it easier for me to be patient. But I think that patience is critical. And so how do we drive that down to your business, right? How do we think about the patience you need to have in your business? Because look, we see the same type of impatience leading to poor decision-making at the agent level, at the team leader level. It's why our industry has this problem with people chasing shiny objects. That chasing of shiny objects is the physical reflection of that impatience. When the delayed return, the delayed result clashes and crashes into entrepreneurial impatience, This is when people make moves. They chase shiny objects. They may move brokerages. And look, and I think the interesting thing is like we've been on the winning side of that, right? We have had people come to LPT for the wrong reasons in some cases because they got impatient with their old platform. They got impatient with their old brokerage, and they thought that LPT would be the solution to that. And while, look, we have a lot of great tools, we have a lot of great community, the culture, what we do here on Motivational Monday, I don't unfortunately have that magic wand.
Right.
I can't wave a magic wand at someone who joins LPT and fix the delayed gratification. I can't fix their internal impatience. I can't fix their unrealistic maybe expectations. We can provide a great platform and tools and everything we do. And I sleep great at night knowing we do all of those things. But the impatience as an entrepreneur is one of your greatest weaknesses, one of our greatest weaknesses as entrepreneurs. It's something I have focused so much on trying to root out of my leadership style, my decision-making style, and it's hard. It is very hard to be patient and continue to run your game plan and wait for that opening to show through the patience in a market that continues to push the goalpost further and further away from us. And so, again, I would encourage you all to really think through that. Think about how you bring patience to your business, how you bring patience to your team, patience to your solo agent business, patience to the way you interact with your consumers, right? Think about that, Matt. Think about the consumer who is unwilling to get off the fence, right? And we look at it and we're industry professionals and we say, look, I don't care if rates are 6.25, 6.5. This makes so much sense for you to sell the house you have and buy the new house. And they need us to be patient. They need us to be the patient guide for them. But if we become impatient because we can't see it and we can't wait, we lose that customer. We lose the trust of that customer. And so I really want, in addition to focus coming out of today, I want you to be very, very cognizant and conscious of your ability to be patient with your consumers, patient in your decision making. And it's something you were great as an agent. You were always very patient with your clients. You're very patient now, in the landscape as an executive. And I think it is a very underrated skill. I don't think we talk enough about patience of leadership. That leader is very patient, right? Like nobody's putting that on like a bio. Like he was one of the most patient leaders, right? Because there is this idea of like speed of the leader, speed of the team. And don't get me wrong, we move fast, but we're not impatient, right? We're not moving fast out of impatience or lack of patience. We're moving fast when the window opens. We're moving fast when the hole is created. And I think this is the balance that people have to understand. Patience does not mean inability to make decision. Patience does not mean letting opportunities pass you by, but patience does mean not forcing bad decisions or forcing errors because you were unable to, as I tell Reagan, hold it in your heart. This is when my 8-year-old is being impatient. I tell her, baby, you got to hold it in your heart right now. Like she's all excited, hold it in your heart. Like that, we picked that up from one of her teachers. And so I have to tell her to hold it in her heart. And it's a lesson I'm very focused on teaching her. And I want all of us to really lean into that. It's something I focused on in my life. How do I hold it in my heart and be patient until the time is right?
That's right. I think we found a clip of a few years ago, you talking about the reasons for coming to LPT and the people who maybe came for the wrong reasons. The system spits you back out, right? Like it does.
It goes to the impatience. It goes to delayed gratification. I think that was in Grand Prix 2 years ago, March of 2024. Yeah, I remember that.
There are still some folks that think I was kidding. They think I'm still kidding. They think we'll change. They think we'll get up on real estate. They think we'll fall victim to the same mistakes that those that came before us made. And I can tell you we will not. And so if an agent doesn't believe in real estate first, LPT is not the brokerage for them. If an agent doesn't believe in agent choice, if they don't believe in everyone getting access to a fair comp plan, LPT Realty is not the brokerage for them. And now if they don't believe in our new connected community and putting our community fabric and ties above growth, above agent count, above everything else, LPT Realty is not the brokerage for them. But, if you believe in agent choice and you believe in real estate first and you believe in this vision, then you have found your brokerage for life.
Yeah, you were fired up there. You were fired up. But I mean, it just shows that you've been preaching the same message all the way through, and it's very consistent. And again, if you come here for the right reasons to grow your business, to hone your craft, to have more options as an entrepreneur, then you're going to love it here. If you come here, to your point, for unrealistic expectations or chasing this dream of like, hey, I'll be rich by doing nothing, like it's not going to work for you. And you're going to continue to jump from brokerage and brokerage and brokerage, trying to find this dream that just does not exist.
Well, the funny thing too is, again, impatience. Like, there are people who have left LPT, and after they left, everything they were trying to accomplish continued to happen without them.
Right.
Patience, that patience is just absolutely so important. And I think it's interesting too there that, a couple other things I said in that clip, we're not going to change. Mm-hmm. I think a cloud brokerage acquiring legacy franchise is a massive change, right? Mm-hmm. I made the commitment back then, we're not going to change. Those two models can be in direct conflict with each other. It's just, one of the interesting things is, Keller Williams, they've been handcuffed by franchises for, I think probably for the last 10 or 12 years, leadership probably wished they had not sold franchises up front, and there's some agents here. There was a thing inside of Keller Williams called KWIN, KWE, and Keller Williams Expansion Network. And it was basically their attempt at a cloud brokerage, and it couldn't work because they couldn't reconcile it with the obligations they owed to the legacy franchise owners. And so internally, we talk about those legacy franchises as being handcuffs on the ability to truly drive innovation at the single entity national brokerage level. And so it amazes me that we just watched most of our competitors go out and purchase a very expensive set of handcuffs. Because now they have to figure out how to reconcile the obligations they owe to folks who purchased franchises. And again, in some states, it's literally a fiduciary duty with this idea of bringing innovation directly to agents and directly to teams without a franchise owner in the middle at the cloud level. And so again, you've got two different sets of customers. How do you support a franchise owner at the highest level when your core message over here is, hey, all those agents shouldn't pay a franchise owner. They should come directly into the national brokerage and earn revenue share and stock and have better comp plans. Like, I can't see how the two things can get reconciled. And so again, I talked about the mistakes that those who came before us made. This was 2 years ago. They're still making mistakes. They're still staying not committed to the original vision. And if I have to throw a single word on all of it, it's impatience. And so please be patient entrepreneurs. Fight that desire, or fight that instinct around impatience. Stay focused, stay committed, ignore the noise, stay patient. Avoid that impatience that we're talking about, and do the right things for your consumers, because everything else will follow, right? The big dreams, the success, everything will follow if you continue to put your consumers first, but you have to have that patience. There is no magic wand. Trust me, if I could get my hands on it, I would have found it. I would have bought it. I would have invested in it. We would have invented it. Like, if there was any magic wand to compress time in this industry, if there was a magic pill to take to create unlimited passive income and unlimited closings and clients, like, we would have gone out and found it. We would have invested in it. It doesn't exist. There is no shortcut. We have to do the work. We have to be patient. We have to put our consumers first, and we have to build those amazing businesses that can carry us into the future, because Boomsday is still coming. Yep. No matter how delayed it is, Boomsday is still coming. And when Boomsday comes, the prepared, the patient, those who stayed focused on the right activities and the right goals during that entire downturn, right? When we're in a bust, we prepare for the boom. When we're in the boom, we prepare for the next bust. That's what Boomsday prepping is all about. And we got to stay focused and patient the whole way through, no matter how much noise this crazy industry continues to throw at us.
That is absolutely correct, man. I love the leadership here and the continuing to keep the North Star, make that thing the important thing. So we appreciate your clarity and guidance on that. Speaking of which, we skipped a slide. Our leadership also been recognized by Inman. We skipped that. So speaking of all your leadership, I want to make sure we recognize our fellow leaders here as well too.
Yeah, so Inman put out their future leaders under the age of 40. This is the leaders that they view shaping the future of real estate. Across LPT Holdings, we had 6 folks recognized: Lauren Bowen, Louis Furman, Allison Adams-Gray, Jenna Lee Mobley, all at LPT Corporate, and then Keegan Siegfried, who runs Paramount Home Group, powered by LPT out of Tampa, and Chris Giannis, who's the CEO of Humanize, which is the company we announced the acquisition of back in January. So big congratulations to all of them. I think it is interesting. A lot of companies will talk about, we're going to build the future real estate. We're the future real estate. This is this is the proof behind that, right? Who's going to lead this amazing company 20 years from now, 30 years from now, 40 years from now? And it's investing in future leaders. It's investing in that leadership. And I'm so thankful that Inman recognized not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, but 6 of the amazing future leaders here inside of LPT Holdings.
Congratulations to all. And further proof that Lewis and I are not twins, because he is in his 30s and I am above 40. Okay,
right.
So
you're the older twin.
I'm the older twin, yeah. Okay, so
you no longer qualify for future leader.
Yes.
You are now current leader.
Current leader. All right, I'm going to look for that.
I love
category.
that language. Over 40 means current leader, right? Under 40, future leader. Over 40, current leader. That's Inman's vernacular. Yeah.
All right, awesome. Okay, final day for FallCon tickets. Walk us through
for
that real
VIP.
quick.
Now
VIP.
you just said that terribly.
Yeah, I did.
Final day for FallCon. People are like, what? FallCon tickets? The final day? Today is the final day for the early bird buddy pass on the VIP tickets.
That's a much better way to say
it. Yes, it's a mouthful. A lot of detail there. If you remember, if you haven't been paying attention, maybe you haven't been on Motivational Monday, we did early bird buddy passes with our FallCon tickets. So if you buy a general admission ticket during the early bird window, you get a second general admission buddy pass, which is valid for any person who is not already an LPT agent. So you can invite a friend from another brokerage. You can invite a friend who's not in real estate that wants to come learn about real estate. You can bring a child or a spouse who needs to come learn about this crazy business that you've chosen to build your legacy in. That's what the buddy pass is all about. Okay, those are going to be around for a long time. There's no rush to getting a general admission with a buddy pass. That early bird window continues to go on. Then the certification buddy pass tickets, we're going to limit that to the first 200. We got plenty of room there. The VIP ticket, which was limited to the first 50, that is ending. And so we're giving you guys today to get that in, right? We probably should have already closed it, but we're going to give you today to put it in. So if you want to get a VIP early bird pass with the buddy pass, VIP early pad with the buddy pass, you should log into Connect right now before you forget, because we're going to go get busy. We're going to go get stuck in other things we're doing. We're going to forget. I don't want to see you miss out on this. You can still buy a VIP pass tomorrow, but it will no longer come with that buddy pass. So you can no longer bring a friend into that VIP experience with you who is not currently an LPT agent, which is what the buddy pass is all about. So if you've been thinking about that, if you've been procrastinating on buying your VIP ticket, yes, it is the largest item on there, $25.99. Lots of great benefits with that. And again, you can buy it till much closer to FallCon, but today is the last day to purchase the VIP ticket and have it come with the free buddy pass. And we heard from a lot of people that buddy pass is important. Yeah. They have that agent in another brokerage they want to bring with them. Maybe they have that child or adult child or spouse who they really want to come experience FallCon with them. And so if you're looking for that combination of the buddy pass for the non-LPT agent and the VIP treatment for both of you, today is the last day to purchase that ticket. All right, so get into Connect right now before you forget. If you do forget, you've got a little bit more time through the end of today. But FallCon is coming up. I saw what is FallCon. You can learn a lot about FallCon inside of Connect. FallCon is, do we have the FallCon video? Can we get that played real quick, Davey? We've got a great video from last year's FallCon. Maybe we can play out. They love it when I call for this stuff with absolutely no warning. I'm hearing they don't think we have it, but they're going to look for it. FallCon is our big annual conference. This year it is at the RP Funding Center in Lakeland, Florida. There will be thousands of agents there. I might have spent 11 hours on stage last year personally to make sure that I got to pour into everybody who attended FallCon. It was a life-changing experience for a lot of folks. That's coming up in October. It will be in Lakeland, Florida. It will be at the RP Funding Center. It's going to be absolutely amazing. Yep, let's throw up I know we have that. Let's throw up the hotel slide. And look, and I promise you these two hotels are going to sell out, right? I think a lot of people, like most conferences, like, oh, buy today, it's going to sell out. There are not enough hotel rooms at these two hotels for all of us. Hyatt Place, Lakeland Center, which is actually on site at the RP Funding Center, $159 per night. Spring Hill Suites by Marriott Lakeland, also on site at the RP Funding Center, $189 a night. Special pricing, the only two hotels actually on property, so you can walk over to the convention. There's lots of other great hotels nearby. There are lots of Airbnbs, right? So lots of places to stay, but these options are going to sell out. I see a question here about the VIP Buddy Pass. You do not have to tell us who your buddy is. What'll happen is maybe 2 or 3 weeks before FallCon, we'll reach out to everyone who has a Buddy Pass and you'll tell us who your Buddy Pass is for then. But no, we do not expect you to make your Buddy Pass decision now. So you buy your ticket today. That locks you in the Buddy Pass opportunity. And then again, right before FallCon actually happens, we'll have a deadline a couple weeks out where you tell us who that buddy is. But today you're just locking in the ability to choose a buddy because we know that may change. The person who you want to bring with you may change between now and October. So if we can get the full pricing slide back up one more time, I'll walk everybody through this. And then I think we're about to get here. So these are the 3 ticket levels. The general admission ticket is $299. Right now, that comes with a Buddy Pass as well. A non-LPT agent can come to you. That's general admission. You get into the general sessions. You get into the expo hall. You get to be a part of the action. Then we have our certification track, where I will be teaching 3 certification sessions, 3 certification tracks like last year inside of a different part of the RP Funding Center building. Those certifications are $1,099. We'll put out more details about that in the coming weeks. There are no current real deadlines or anything to worry about there at the $1,099 level. And then the VIP, where you get the certifications and the general admission plus the VIP access. There's a VIP dinner. So VIP ticket benefits, streamlined VIP registration and check-in process. We're doing a bigger and more exclusive VIP lounge than in 2025. We had some constraints at last year's venue. Going to have a much cooler VIP lounge this year because I got a lot of pull inside of the RP Funding Center because, yes, the RP for RP Funding stands for Robert Palmer. If we can get that back up, I'm reading off it. Priority entrance to all sessions. So VIPs will get to go in early, get their seatings. We'll have a separate entrance for you. If you've seen the video from last year, we open the door and there are lines of people trying to rush in. Our VIPs will get to go in early and get their seating. Dedicated VIP reserve seating in both the GA sessions and the certifications. Exclusive VIP swag. Special edition items not available for purchase. There's a VIP dinner with me and other LPT executives and VIP parking right up front and center at the event entrance. We put a couple thousand people. And look, the RP Funding Center has a massive parking lot, but it's a pretty good walk. VIP will get to park absolutely right up front there, which will be fantastic. And then as a bonus, we're also throwing in all 3 of last year's FallCon certifications, including the workbooks and the video playbacks for our VIP winners. If you've already bought your VIP ticket, that's going to be released in the next couple of weeks. All right, we've got some exciting stuff. We're actually going to get into our cadence of content and delivery here in the next couple of weeks. But when you purchase a VIP ticket, it will unlock last year's 3 certifications, which was the the price point step up certification. We did our AI. What was the name of it? AI Advantage certification, and then our local influencer certification, right?
Correct.
In-person influencer certification. So you get the workbooks and the certifications from last year's FallCon as a part of that VIP ticket, and then you'll also get your this year's certifications as well with the VIP ticket. So anyway, last day to buy the VIP ticket coming with the Buddy Pass is today. So if all that's interesting to you and you want to be able to bring a non-LPT agent friend with you to have the experience, come on in. That VIP ticket is $25.99. Anything else we want to show before we wrap up here?
No, I don't think they found that video, but
they got the video.
Okay,
we're going to leave you with the video.
All right.
I see questions about ticket upgrade. Put in a ticket to support. Let them know, hey, I bought a certification ticket. I want to upgrade it to a VIP ticket. Put in that with support. Happy to facilitate that. And yeah, man, I think this was a great Motivational Monday. We're going to leave you with the FallCon video. Keep doing the work. Stay focused. Stay patient with me. Remember, this industry has the delayed gratification. We're going to keep doing the right things. We're going to keep Boomsday prepping here together, and know that we're going to keep doing the right things for you. We're going to keep this company on the right path, moving toward the goal, moving toward the future that we all envision together. And we're front and center of it with you guys. So make it a great week. We're going to leave you with the FallCon video. We'll see you back here next week for another Motivational Monday.
This isn't something where people turn up and 3 days later everyone's business card has gone in the bin and they're not connected no more. This is connectivity.
It's not just getting together for the one conference for the year. It's getting to connect on a consistent basis.
This is just so different. It's impossible to kind of articulate and explain, and it's something that I haven't felt before in 20 years of real estate.
For me, it was like so refreshing to fall in love with real estate again.